Finally guys, after playing the whole day, I passed all Anniversary Clash challenges without S equipments. So guys, in this video, I want to help you to pass them all as well. Let's start from the first challenge. Let's unequip all these garbage S equipments and use only kunai, only normal kunai. By the way guys, if you already passed this challenge, just go to the description of this video and choose the challenge you're struggling to pass. Unless you're wondering how I pass this challenge only with normal kunai, or you can pass this challenge. And there's one more thing I want to say before I'll help you with challenges. Guys, for previous guide, I had a lot of comments that my attack and health are too high. For these challenges, your attack and health doesn't matter. Just look at the damage I'm doing to enemies. Are you sure with 17,000 attack I'm doing 19 damage? Only skills to your equipments, your tech parts, your hero and talents are counted. So don't write me such comments that I have high attack or health. And let's start our guide for the first challenge. For the first challenge, as for all challenges, we will use kunai to easily defeat bosses. This challenge has a square map, and as you can see, we have a lot of toxic pools. Later we will have meteors, and in the last minutes we will have lightnings. To get rid at least of toxic pools, we're going to use Molotov, and later we'll make fuel barrel. For those who doesn't know, fire vanishes toxic pools. We also will have a lot of enemies, a lot of mobs, so to not let them hit you, we'll choose Guardian and Force Field. It will be enough to fight back from mobs. The last two skills choose on your choice, but it's better to have good skills against bosses, such as Lightning Emitter or Whistle Arrow. From supply skills, besides skills you need to evolve your weapon skills, choose Fuel if you have more problems with mobs, and Power Bullet if you have more problems with bosses. In this run I chose Fuel because I had more problems with mobs. Okay guys, we're going to fight against the first boss, the Stepine King. There is nothing hard, just have a good speed and avoid all these projectiles, all these toxic pools. And your kunai will do the job, would brigade if you will have shuriken. Now we'll have more poison, that's why you need Molotov and fuel barrel. You'll not have problems with enemies, you'll have more problems with toxic pools, so be careful, try to avoid most of them. Very useful is energy drink, especially for the first minutes, and wood brigade if you'll use catnips here. His healing drone will help a lot here. Till the fight with the next bosses, you will need shuriken, because the next bosses will be kinda hard to defeat. Try to make defender, force field and fuel barrel. Also, wood brigade if you'll focus on ninja skull and will make it 5 stars. It will help you to gain more skills, it will help you to gain skills faster. Right now I have 5 stars and look how fast I'm getting skills. Okay, let's skip this part, there's nothing interesting, and let's go to the boss fight. To easily defeat these two bosses, there's only one good strategy. Just circle around them and avoid toxic pools, meteors and lightnings. That's how you'll easily defeat them and will survive. The last minutes, if you'll do everything right, if you'll choose the right skills I told you, they will not be hard. As for me guys, only the hardest part here is to avoid all these toxic pools, meteors and lightnings. So you have to move, move and move. To defeat the final bosses, we'll use the same strategy as for previous bosses. You just need to circle around them. Only thing may be hard for you here is to avoid toxic pools. And of course meteors and lightnings. But as you can see guys, it will not be really hard to defeat them and to pass this challenge. Okay guys, let's check the damage statistic. Here we have rewards. Looks like that Crokid did the highest damage guys. I don't know how, but maybe it's again a bug like in Trial Chapter 4. Anyway guys, the first challenge is passed, let's go to the next one. The second challenge is really hard guys, as you can see I'm even using one epic equipment. I'm using epic metal neck guard. To pass the challenge with these crappy equipments took me over 20 tries, maybe 30 tries. Anyway guys, I passed it only with common equipments. This challenge is really hard, because after defeating the second bosses, you'll have problems with mobs and with final bosses. Moreover, the first boss is not really easy to beat either. So to lose the fight with the first boss, I highly recommend you to make Shuriken. If you cannot make it, just quit and start again. All your lives, all your tries, live for the fight with the final bosses. Perfectly, you'll need to use Eternal Suit at Legendary Grade. From skills, I recommend you to get Force Field to make Force Barrier. With this skill, you'll survive waves of zombies. Other skills must be best skills against bosses. Whistle Arrow, Quantum Ball, Supercell, RPG also good. At least have 3 of them. From supply skills, choose only 4 skills for your weapon skills. The last 2 must be Ronin Suit and Power Bullet, they will help you to survive and defeat the final bosses. Okay guys, let's go to the fight with the first boss, and as you can see, I'm making Shuriken. As I told you, Shuriken is needed here, so it will let you to easily defeat this boss. Honestly speaking guys, it will not take a lot of time to kill him, only problem will be avoid his bullets. You should be kinda lucky. Again guys, I played to pass this chapter, I played over 20 times, maybe over 30 times. The next minutes will be not really hard to survive, you just need to keep focusing on skills I told you. Only 2 skills will be really needed after the fight with the next bosses. These skills are Power Bullet over 3 stars and Force Barrier. The next bosses are not really hard to beat, I must say they are very easy to beat. You just need to circle around them. It will be kinda boring guys, because for me it took like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm using Shuriken here with Power Bullet. With Power Bullet as the last skill and Metal Neck Guard, Epic Metal Neck Guard. Anyway guys, as you can see, it will not be really hard to defeat them. As I told you guys, for the last minutes, you'll need Force Barrier because you'll have a lot of mobs, you'll have a lot of enemies. But as you can see, if you did everything right and chose the right skills, it will be not really hard to survive, especially with S equipments. Okay guys, now let's go and defeat the final bosses. Here you can see what skills I have before the fight. To defeat these bosses will be really hard, it took me around 2 minutes to defeat them and almost all my life coins. The best way to avoid most bullets is to stay close to a wall on the opposite side of them, like I'm doing here guys. Yeah, from time to time you'll need to run away from there, but perfectly you will need to stay there. My last life guys, I was so nervous, I thought I will lose again, but eventually I won guys. After over 20 tries, I passed this challenge. So as you can see guys, even with common equipments you can pass this challenge. Of course it's better to go with S equipments, so it will be easier. Only one thing don't change is kunai. The hardest part of all challenges as for me are bosses, and the best weapon is kunai. Okay guys, now let's go and pass the third challenge, for which I was using a little different equipment. The third challenge is not really that hard if you choose certain skills. To easily pass this challenge, you will need drones, you will need destroyer, another skill is soccer ball, and the last one is force field. From supply skills, besides 3 skills you need to evolve your weapon skills, you will need fuel and power bullet. Before you will meet the first boss, you will need to focus on kunai, but there's no need to make Shuriken, you can have kunai 4 or 5 stars, it will be enough to defeat the first boss. What you really need after defeating the first boss is Force Barrier and focus on fuel. You see, this challenge might be hard for you because enemies are moving really fast, so you need a skill that will slow them down, and the best is Force Barrier. To increase the range you will need fuel, and the best to have it with Metal Neck Guard as the first skill. The first boss is not really hard to beat, especially if you have Shuriken. By the way guys, spikes that comes from the boss cannot reach the upper and the lower walls. And here you can see, if you have Force Barrier after defeating the first boss, it will be not that hard to survive. Keep focusing on fuel, power bullet, and also focus on sport shoes, because you'll need a good speed to escape from bosses and their projectiles. So with good speed, the next bosses will not be really hard to defeat, just move up and down. By the way guys, I forgot to equip my tech part for drones, so for me this fight was little harder and longer. Anyway guys, the second bosses are defeated. Now, we will need to survive the last minutes. The last minutes will be very easy to survive if you have certain skills. Skills I recommend you. Only problem you will have with elites. To defeat them, you will need to move like this, you'll need to circle around them. And when Sprinkle is close, you will have a chance to insta-kill them. The final bosses will be kinda hard to defeat because they have a good amount of health. The best strategy to defeat them is to circle around them. Only the hardest part will be with Ocean Lord, he can shoot bullets. I even died once and that time I was out of life coins, so I had to use my gems. Yeah, better to have played these challenges with life coins and to not spend your gems. Anyway guys, eventually I passed this challenge. Again guys, only with common equipments without S equipments, so if you have S equipments, you will definitely pass this challenge. You just need the right skills guys and a few good equipments. Okay, this challenge was not really hard, let's go to the hard challenge, challenge 4. For this challenge, I had to use 2 epic equipments, Epic Light Runners and Epic Metal Neck Guard. To pass the challenge with Kunai, you need 2 important skills, Force Field and Guardian. Other skills must be good skills against bosses, like Whistle Arrow or Lightning Emitter. From supply skills with Metal Neck Guard, you need Fuel and Power Bullet as the first and the last skill. Other 4 supply skills must be just skills for your weapons. Ninja Skull, Energy Drink, Exoskeleton and Ammo Thruster. From the first seconds, very important to focus on Guardian, Force Field and Fuel. Yeah, first minutes will not be really hard, but after you defeat the first boss, you will have hell. The first boss will be not really hard to defeat, you can even stay close to him, especially if you have Guardian or Defender. The real problem you will have after defeating that boss, because any damage can kill you. That's why you need to make Defender and Force Barrier fast. Here you need to know very important scene. With Defender, don't move fast, move slowly. Unless you can easily kill enemies, like I'm doing here. In these minutes, be very careful with toxic pools, don't step on them. The hardest part will be with elites, because you cannot push them as mobs. I tried Fingers Closed at first, but they didn't work properly. You could insta-kill this elite, but next elite you could not insta-kill. So eventually I came up with Army Glows. They're more stable, plus you'll do extra damage to bosses. Okay, talking about bosses, to defeat second bosses might be kinda problematic because they have a really good amount of health. The best strategy here is to circle around them. To easily avoid all these projectiles, you will need a good speed, perfectly as boots. At least use prosthetic legs. The last minutes will be really hard guys, really hard to survive because of elites. Don't move fast, move slowly and only in one direction, that's how you'll be able to survive these last minutes. The hardest part for me was this last minute, I even died once. If you die guys as I here, go as far as you can from that elite. And for this challenge, I highly recommend you to use Stylish Belt, because this belt after killing 200 enemies will give you a shield. This shield helps a lot here because it can save you a few times. To defeat final bosses will probably be the easiest part, because to defeat them, just circle around them. For me, it took almost 3 minutes to defeat them, but as you can see guys, it's not hard. Plus I'm using Shuriken and have Whistle Arrow. As for me guys, the fourth challenge is as hard as second challenge, because you can easily die here. If you receive 1 damage, you will die. Anyway guys, as you can see, you can pass this challenge even with common equipments, there's no need to use S equipments, but of course, better to use them. Okay guys, the last challenge is left, for which I used only 3 equipments: Kunai, Army Gloves and Prosthetic Legs. To pass this challenge will be not really hard if you choose the right skills. Enemies from time to time will be invisible, so to make them visible, you will need Force Field. You'll need Force Bar here. Other skills doesn't matter, just choose skills good against bosses like Drill Shot, Lightning Emitter. As for me guys, this challenge is very boring because most of the time you will not have enemies, like here just look at the time. The first boss has a really good amount of health, but it's very easy to avoid him and his projectiles. So as I told you, this challenge is very boring. Only the hardest part I found here is the fight with the final bosses. By the way guys, after I defeated that boss, he's not disappearing anywhere. I'm just walking around, and I have the dead boss, the dead body. In these minutes, just focus on skills best against bosses and make force bar gear. And as you can see, it's very easy to avoid all mobs. When they disappear, you have a chance to escape from them, and thanks to force barrier, you can see them. During the fight with the second bosses, it will be kinda hard to avoid all these projectiles. Unfortunately guys, there is no strategy for this, you just need to kill them faster, then they will kill you. Next minutes we'll skip guys, because there's nothing interesting, nothing hard, just do the same things. Okay guys, now it's time to defeat the final bosses, the last bosses of our challenges. To easily defeat them, you just need to do the same strategy as for most bosses, just circle around them. Yeah, it will be kinda hard to avoid all these projectiles, but thanks to mob, you will heal yourself. During this fight, I even died 2 times. Anyway guys, as you can see, I passed this challenge only with common equipments, only with 3 excellent common equipments. So guys, as you can see, all Anniversary Clash challenges are possible to pass only with common equipments, and you don't really need S equipments. Anyway guys, if you have S equipments, use them. And of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe my channel.